I know great coaches who've done the work who still have imposter syndrome, and that's something that they need to work out. But the majority of people who I talk to, and I will deliberately poke and prod on this, the reason that they have imposter syndrome is they have not done the work.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely agree with that. And I think you even stated in that kind of rant that you went on is the the way. Well, you did state it, but I want to bring attention to this is the way that you avoid imposter syndrome is by working for free. If you feel like you're not the person to do the job, then put yourself in the position to do the job with no sort of expectation, right? If someone's not paying you for the service, then there can't be this expectation of, oh, I paid him to do this and he didn't deliver on it. But it definitely comes from not having the reps or taking on a responsibility that's above your pay grade. Maybe something that you're not confident that you can get the results that you're saying you can deliver to someone. So the way around that is put yourself in a position to deliver those results. And once you can prove to yourself that you're not an imposter, you can deliver those results, then charge someone to do it. And the more you charge someone to do it, the more confidence you'll have in that situation. But I largely think that imposter syndrome is from taking on responsibilities that you're not confident you can fulfill. So there's plenty of people I've seen them, especially in the fitness space, that have blind confidence that will never have imposter syndrome when maybe they should. But the people that I see that do have imposter syndrome, a lot of times it's people that do what they do really well and they care a lot about the product or the service that they're delivering, and they're not confident that they can deliver a service or a product or a result to the level that they deem to be acceptable. So the way around that is prove to yourself first that you can deliver to the level that you deem to be acceptable, and then once you can deliver on that, then start to charge for it. I think that the transactional nature of this business is something that a lot of people get caught up on. There's a lot of trainers that are really good fucking trainers out there that are undervaluing their time and their service because they feel that they don't deserve to charge $200 an hour, or they don't feel the service that they're worth or that they're delivering is worth a certain amount when they're doing it better than the people that are charging $200 an hour. And that's where it kind of comes back to that statement that I made earlier on, is that you can get pretty good, you can make a lot of money in the training industry if you just sell 6-month contracts. And then every 6 months you have to re-up and either resell that contract or find someone else to fill that spot. You can probably make money, but a lot of that is you're in a sales role. You're not in a training role. And you're not building those qualities that are going to turn into client retention or transitioning in-person clients to online clients. They're only going to do that if they trust you, if they like you, and you're delivering on the service that they're paying you to do. So so that's kind of where I see this coming from, is that like you can be the person that you're just making sales. And if you look at it that way, you'll probably make a decent amount of money. But if you look at it, and this is kind of another point that you made, is that, yeah, you're not your own fucking boss. You know who your boss is? The person that hired you to do your job.
Right.
And that's why, like, I've never had long-term contracts, and no shade to people that do, because I know Macintosh does that, and like,
It crushes it.
yeah, highest tier of service that you can get. But I've never done anything more than a month-to-month contract with anyone for anything. And a lot of the people that I'll work with in like training scenarios or rehab session, it's like, yeah, we'll go session to session. I don't give a fuck, because I know I can get you results. Like, I have the confidence that I can get you to stay for 6 months because I'm a good enough trainer to do that. And that's why I look at, like, you also made a point about being timely. I've been late for 2 sessions my entire training career. Two. And I gave both those sessions to those people for free because I hold myself to a higher standard than that. And if I don't uphold the standard that I deem to be acceptable, I'm not going to charge you for the service. Or like and maybe it is a little bit of a fallacy, but I feel like I didn't earn that. Like, I didn't uphold a standard that I set for myself. So I don't deserve to get rewarded in the way that I feel I should be rewarded if I had upheld that standard. And that's just like a personal value for me. But 2 times in over 2 decades of training. Like, it's once a decade. That's not a bad average right there. But the thing is, like, these clients keep coming back. Like, I've never had someone, the online clients I haven't fucking taken online clients in years, and I still have a handful of online clients. Like it's something that if you focus on every single session, every single interaction, every single transition point in a person's training career with you as an interview, and you want to get that job, you'll continually get it. And maybe not at first. That's a skill that you're going to have to hone in. But I look at every single session as this is an interview so that they hire me again. And that's something that's one of my values around training is like, I don't want this person to stay with me because they signed a piece of paper that said they would. I want them to be here because they want to be here. Or else I'm not going to want to be here. If you don't want to be here, I won't fucking be here. Like, I have better shit to do with my time. So that's just kind of my values around training. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with imposter syndrome, but I took a little bit of a tangent there. But taking it back to your original question, like, put yourself in a position where you have to get the results that you're saying you're going to deliver on. And once you prove to yourself that you can get those results, listen to yourself. Listen to the results. Make it objective. Like, imposter syndrome, that's a thought. That's a feeling. That's subjective. Fuck your feelings. Like, get the results and look at the objectivity around it. And that's what's going to be what helps you get over imposter syndrome.
It's funny. I noticed myself doing this, and it's a habit that I'm very glad I got into. And I curse myself often for getting into this habit. But I think we're both, to a certain extent, people pleasers. I think that comes with the nature of getting into this business. Like, you don't get into forensic accounting to be a people pleaser, right? Like, you don't get into like serving parking tickets to be a people pleaser. Like, there's some jobs that are just, that just are not suited for that temperament. But something that I put something up the other day, it was to the extent of like, say yes and figure it out. And I wouldn't say I'm getting better at saying no. I'm getting better at being around opportunities that I continue to want to say yes to, right? Like, I think, there's a principle to it that I see people impart, like the me in the present is, and I'll explain the language here shortly. But like the me in the present always kind of fucks the me in the future. But you haven't and that's true. Like when I was 17, the me in the present on a Saturday night was ready to fuck me tomorrow morning. But I had to get up and go work at the gym and then go work at the nightclub the next day. And I'm out, it's like 4 a.m. I'm like, fuck. Like the present me is really like, fuck. I do the same thing now. But the present me is like, yeah, sure. You know what? Let's get on a call and talk about that. Or the present me is, sure, yeah, I can fly over. No problem. I'll be there next week. Like, and then when I'm sitting on a plane going, fuck, how did I get here for the 60th time this year? I said no more planes. And then the present me in the moment when given an opportunity goes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. And then again, there's a key there. You mentioned values. You have to follow through.
Yeah.
Following through. And this is going to tangent a little bit. But again, there's something I talked about earlier that I want to revisit, because this is a crash course conversation about early stage business development and trajectory for someone in the fitness industry. And I want people to hear the deafening sound of what we're not saying. I haven't talked about posting frequency. I haven't talked about TikTok versus YouTube versus Instagram. I haven't talked about lead magnets, acquisitions, or funnels. I haven't talked about recurring revenue. And all I've talked about is the things that matter, right? Like there's higher level personal traits that you need to develop to move to the next level. Like, because whatever the system is, it's only as good as the operator, right? Like they work in tandem as a business. Like the operator has to have a certain level of skills. Otherwise, the AI is just going to take your job, right? And as AI spits out some of the dumbest workout programs I've ever seen and doesn't know how to discern good from great, I just become more valuable, right? So I want people to hear the deafening noise of what we're not saying as we move through the stuff we're actually saying, right? So the point of that little offshoot was like, okay, kind of say yes and figure it out, but you have to stick to your guns. Like you have to follow through. And then with following through, there's an arm of following through that is following up. Holy shit, the amount of money I've made in my life, the amount of connections, the amount of friendships, the amount of opportunities that I've had. And I'm on the other side of this to a certain degree, where people who look, we're busy. We're busy people, you and I. We have a lot of shit going on. And sometimes I need a nudge. I try and build systems around me so I don't forget. We have people around that are, we have a great team. But the number of times where I've said yes, and then, and maybe it's a reminder. Maybe it's like the day before, like, hey, man, just confirming we're on this call tomorrow. It's like, yes, we are. And I look at my calendar and I go, well, I got to fucking cancel that because I told this guy to be on a call with him. All because that person followed up. If I had to impart a superpower on all trainers and coaches that would make them better tomorrow, it would just be following up. After your first session, hey, how you feeling? First one of the books can be rough, a little bit sore, anything like, you feeling good? Oh, either it doesn't matter if this person feels like dog shit and they're fucking injured, they will feel better because you followed up. Like I'm teaching this to grown ass adults. Like I'm in the business world consulting with companies, and I go, hey, I put you in touch with so-and-so, that's the VP of this company. I sent him an email. Have you emailed them back yet? Look, it's my fucking connection. This is my person. You take care of them or you don't get access to my people again. I don't bring people in who are a fucking day late and $1 short. That's your reputation on the line. But more importantly, it's fucking my reputation on the line. Right. Following up is it is the number one notification in my calendar.